You interviewed me last year on the radio,
yeah,
and I thought you were one of the best interviewers I've ever had. Yeah.
He's such a sucker.
No.
Let's see if we can go from favourite interviewer to he hates me within the next 10 minutes. That is Matt Maher on Rima, Your Love Defends Me. It is just up 27 minutes to 12 o'clock, and talking about something very blokey now, rugby, a very New Zealand topic, and my guest in the studio is New Zealand author Peter Millet. Peter, kia ora, good morning. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Great.
I must say you're very appropriately dressed for the task. Now, I feel somewhat underdressed in a sports jacket, and
yeah.
I mean, you're doing the full rugby attire, really,
I think if someone had to be covered in mud, it would be better if it was me today.
And we've got the rugby ball as well. Now rugby is, I mean, it's an iconic Kiwi thing.
It's a religion.
It is.
It's the other big religion.
It is. And I think as New Zealanders, especially New Zealand men, we're expected to know everything there is to know about rugby. I'm going to start with a confession here. I know very little about rugby.
That's fine. That's fine. In fact, you can't actually get a passport as a New Zealand man if you don't confess to loving rugby. So,
well,
it's in there in the fine print.
I may have lied to customs in the past. However, what I'm hoping, Peter, is that by the end of this interview, I will know more about rugby than I did at the start of it, because you've written a children's book on the topic. Now, this is a sing-along book. It's got some nice poetry to it.
Yep.
But it also talks about some of the basics of rugby and what the different positions do and those sorts of things as well.
It does cover the positions, but the heart and soul is having fun.
Yeah.
And I've designed this for a dad at home, kids tackling him on the sofa with a rolled up sock. So that's the intensity that I'm aiming for.
Okay, no, very good indeed. Now, when it comes to writing books, I mean, this isn't your first rodeo, as it were, mixing sports metaphors a little bit. But you've done different types of books. You've done chapter books. You've done sort of secret agent kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background, what you love about writing books.
Well, ironically, in New Zealand, this is my first book on sports.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been going for 20 years, and I don't know why this is the case. You would have thought that this would have been the first thing I would have done. But for one reason or another, we end up writing fairy tales. We have dashing heroes. We have secret spies. We have fart jokes, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it dawned on me, we're sport mad. And why are we undersupplied with sports books?
Yeah.
But bear in mind, funny sports books, because rugby is a very serious topic otherwise.
Well, it can be, although, but yeah, I think this does it well, and it rhymes.
We haven't had rugby rhyming.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. And other than what you hear on the Eden Park, the chants from the sidelines, which aren't always appropriate for everybody.
No,
that's probably the only attempt at rhyming in those areas. Yeah.
I mean, you have. I mean, this isn't your first rhyming book either.
No.
What is it about rhyming books? Are you a frustrated rapper, perhaps?
Yeah, you can see I have all the hallmarks of a rapper.
You're very gangster,
very streetwise. Yeah. No, I think what it comes down to is Pam Ayres. Do you remember Pam Ayres?
Oh yes. Yeah. I should have looked after my teeth.
Wish I looked after my teeth. I heard that at primary school. Back in the 70s, we had to buy a record. It was hard to get to, and I would have played that record until it broke. And so something went into the brain going, I like rhyming. And I don't know, not everyone likes rhyming. I love rhyming, and I would do it just as a hobby, which essentially it is. Yeah.
Maybe you could have been a rapper, actually.
I think then 6'5" is a natural obstruction to some activities.
Well, hey, maybe it's an idea for a future book. Now, let's get into the actual subject matter of this, because can I just... The elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Obviously, plagiarism. The tune to this one, I've heard this before, Peter. You've borrowed this from somebody else, haven't you?
Yes, it's a very, very famous tune. This old man, he played knick-knack on my thumb or drum, depending which country you're in.
Exactly.
This has been around for donkey's years. Public domain lawyers have checked.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just simply retreading a well-known tune. And I even think the most famous person who's covered it is Barney the Purple Elephant. The purple dinosaur, Barney. He does his version of this. So if it's okay for Barney, it's okay for Pete and NZ.
And I do think that there's enough original content on it here. Now the tune, as you say, that's public domain, but we're working our way through a rugby lineup, and my old man, he played one. That's the number on his jersey, right?
Exactly. That was the light bulb moment. I was watching an All Blacks game. There was a break in play. Somebody got sent off. I was editing one of my other rhyming books, and I suddenly thought the numbers on the back, 1 through to 10. Yeah. That's almost a rugby team. So that was the light bulb moment, yeah.
You do realise there's more than 10 in a rugby team. Even I know that.
Yeah, well, there's a sequel opportunity.
Now, the other thing that I noticed, and this is, I think, is a little bit controversial because we've got wonderful illustrations in the book, and I mean that's going to be lost a little bit on radio, but we are filming this, so people might be able to see that, or of course get their own copy.
And controversy sells books,
Well, it does. Now, the controversy is that some of the dads in this particular book are dressed in black jerseys with white collars, and some of them are dressed in yellow and green. Are you looking for that trans-Tasman market on this one?
I think to the average person off the street, if you held them hostage and showed them this book, they would say it looks like it's New Zealand playing Australia.
Yeah, I think
if your life depended on the answer.
This is what it looks like. But some of the dads are Kiwis and some of them are Aussies when I was reading the book.
Yeah, so really, let's just call it an Anzac book. And put all of our differences aside.
Well, as a successful New Zealand author, of course, if you sell books on both sides of the Tasman, that also works.
And half of New Zealand is based in the Gold Coast at the moment. So you mean,
and including Jay Lagala, who is he's sort of Kiwi. But he's been based in Aussie for years now. Hasn't he?
And trivia hound point, he is a bona fide rugby player. He played for the Manukau Rovers. He was quite serious, and a career-ending shoulder injury. Who knows? He may have gone on to greater heights.
Or he may not have ended up in those Star Wars films.
Yeah, that's right. So, the prequels are better for the shoulder injury. But Jay is based in Sydney. He's a proud Kiwi boy. And this book does resonate with New Zealanders based in Australia as well.
Okay, and it works on both sides of the Tasman. That's very good. Now, I'm going to have a go at singing along to one of these verses and see how I go. Because honestly, reading through and trying to do the tune in my head, some were more difficult than others. Some of them you had to kind of cram in the syllables.
There's some tongue twisters there.
There are. But I'm going for the guy playing at number 9. Now, what position is that?
Okay, that would be one of the centres at number 9.
Okay, so that's how much I know about rugby. Okay,
so he would be primarily pretty zippy, pretty fast.
Okay,
good handling of the ball.
He's got a good haircut as well.
Yeah. So doesn't have your glasses, but if you're fast enough, you can go for that, and a little bit of a show pony aspect to it.
A little
bit of a show. That's okay for you, isn't it?
I can get some of that. Yeah. My old man, he played 9. He went hooning down the line with a yeehaw. I'm a star playing in the zone. My old man came strutting home.
Oh, brilliant.
So there's 9 more of those, and it's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful book to be able to read along and sing along with your kids. This is one for dads and their kids to have a lot of fun reading together. It's a family book.
I take the Shrek approach. It's for everybody, not just limited to the kids, because otherwise it's boring. You have to have everybody has to have a stake in this book.
Yeah. Well, it certainly isn't boring indeed. In terms of this book, I would thoroughly recommend it for rugby fans and non-rugby fans alike. Your writing career, though, is this a bit of a turning point? Are you heading towards more of a musical part of your career, Peter?
Yeah, and I thank Susie Cato for that. Everyone knows Susie, the Queen of New Zealand, unofficial Queen of New Zealand. Yeah. And a couple of years ago, I said to her, look, I would like to dabble in nursery rhymes or songs.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, come with me. And she introduced me to a whole bunch of incredibly talented people. So you could argue, without her being so warm and welcoming, I may never have crossed paths with Jay Lagaya, for example.
And you probably inspired her to do Dancing with the Stars as well. So returning the favour.
That's quite a stretch, yeah.
Peter, it is wonderful to have you in the studio. The book, My Old Man, He Played Rugby, is available in all good bookstores. Thank you very much for being part of the program.
Thank you. Good job.